Hi, and welcome to Harvest 100, video number 3. Get rid of 25 things this week. So we're getting rid of 100 things, but since we had technical difficulties week before last, I'm going to give you one extra week of fun, and we're going to get rid of 125 things if you would like, if you have not gotten rid of a bunch more things. So the yogic principle for this week is saucha. And saucha means cleanliness or purity. Obviously, this pertains to getting rid of clutter in your home. It is mostly used for clutter of the body and the mind as well. So, saucha is if you have been cleaning and organizing and getting rid of these things because you can't organize clutter. That's one of the famous sayings from Fly Lady. You can find her. She helps you with decluttering, with cleaning your home, especially if you're not what she calls a born organizer. Who, basically, if your house is in chaos, and chaos for her stands for can't have anyone over syndrome, which I thought was cute. So her philosophy is that you can't organize clutter. I agree. So you just need to get rid of it. And when you get rid of that stuff, you free up the space to be organized, because how many of us would love to be organized, but it's too difficult, or it's too much, or a million reasons, right? And then when that clutter is in your space, it clutters your mind as well. So think of like a space in your home, or maybe if it's not in your home, a space at work, or a space if you go get a massage, or that's a good place to think about it, a massage place. Think about how simple everything is, and then how you feel it's done intentionally, because when there isn't clutter around, the mind can also be calm and still, and it gives you that space. Because when you go into the massage room, there's the table, maybe a candle, maybe some tissue, something to hang your clothes on, but that's about it, right? There's not too much else in there. And that's to intentionally calm your mind down and create a nice space. Also, the lighting has a lot to do with it. So you can create those spaces in your home once that you've decluttered and you've gotten rid of all of this stuff. So I just decluttered underneath the sink, and oh boy, it was rough in there. I spent the better part of one day last week, and I'm pretty sure I got rid of about 100 things in a day, and also organizing the towel closet and linen closet. So I got rid of all that stuff, and it looks so great. I'll post some pictures so you can see, and it just feels so much better. And it felt kind of awful doing it, because going through all of that, like I said, you're not just getting rid of your physical clutter, which you are, you're getting rid of emotional clutter. And maybe when you're doing it, you can say to the universe, I'm getting rid of these things so that I can receive more. And by more, I don't mean stuff, because we obviously are getting rid of that. By more, I mean more prosperity, more contentment, more time with family. Because instead of having to worry about that and be stressed and have the anxiety of just all this stuff all over the place, imagine if you could have just your clean home with, kind of that massage place simplicity, right? So there's not a lot of clutter on the shelves. There's not a lot of clutter elsewhere. And somebody said, well, I like all my little knickknacks and stuff like that on my shelves. No problem. Here's a great way to deal with that. Have it be seasonal. If there's things that you absolutely don't want to get rid of that are sentimental, that you love, but maybe they're cluttering up your space, you can box some of them up, and maybe you have your set for fall, and maybe you have your set for spring, and maybe you have your set for summer. So that way you can have the things that you love, and then it's almost kind of like a really seasonal harvest thing that you can do, is that you put out those items that correspond to that season. Maybe it's seasonless, but maybe the month that it was given to you, or the birthday month of the person that gave it to you, or something like that. You can have a lot of fun. And you can clear that space so that it's constantly changing. And if you have guests over, think about how neat that would be, because they'll see all these new things, and then they can ask about them, and it could be great conversation. So saucha, cleanliness and purity, it really helps in the home the mind. Like whatever you get rid of in the home and organize, it helps the mind. So remember what I was saying when I first was talking about this program is that whatever you have in your external environment, so think about your car, think about your home, in your rooms, in your junk drawer, what you have externally is just an outer reflection of your inner self. So realize if you live with other people, it's them as well. But if you start cleaning, think about how they're going to feel as well. You're creating a space, a loving space for yourself and them as well. And tell them what you're doing. Let them know. Don't let it be a struggle and be like, look, I just want to feel better. I want to feel not stressed when I get home. I don't want to have to worry about all the dishes and all this junk, all the paper clutter, because Lord knows that lots of us have paper clutter, right? From either work or bills and, stuff like that you just haven't got rid of. One of the tools that I use to get rid of paper clutter is we have a landing space for all the mail. And you go through it that day, and right underneath that space is a recycle bin for the paper. So all that junk mail goes right in there, and it never really even gets into the main part of the house. I never even have to see it. So that eliminates that pretty much entirely. Obviously, you have your bills and things that you need to keep track of, but that helps a lot. So it goes, Saucha is not just for the home, it's for your mind and for your body. And a lot of people, when they start organizing and they start getting rid of stuff they don't need anymore, they start feeling better in their body and they start losing weight sometimes because that clutter is associated with your body clutter. So that's another thing that you might notice. So just an extra little fun effect that you would get from doing this process. So like I said, this week's yogic term or philosophy is Saucha. You can look it up, and it's one of the yamas. Patanjali is a yogic sage that wrote yamas and niyamas, and they're basically guidelines that you can follow. So that's where I'm getting all of this from. If you wanted to go and look that up yourself on the internet, I can give you a little Wikipedia link below the post so that if you have more interest in that, you can go check it out. So your assignment for this week is to get rid of those 25 items that can be anywhere in the home, doesn't have to be a specific spot. I picked the linen closet and underneath the sink last week, so maybe pick a spot. If you haven't yet, think about that junk drawer and getting into that. If that's like, I don't want to even deal with that, cool. You don't have to. Just go into another part of the home that you want to get rid of 25 items. So we're in our third week, so we're about halfway there mostly. And one of the things I would like to invite you all to is if you are Phoenix based, I'm going to have a clothing swap. And so clothing swap is where you bring all of your very lightly used or new clothing that you no longer want, and you bring it into a central space, and then you invite a bunch of friends, and they do the same thing, and then you all get to swap your clothing amongst each other, and the rest that nobody wants gets donated to charity. So keep an eye out for that. We're going to do that in the Phoenix area, but don't let that stop you if you're not Phoenix based. Invite some friends. They don't even have to be doing the Harvest 100, and get them together. Bring all your clothes, especially now that you're getting rid of them, right? You don't need them anymore. And you might find some really neat items. And also remember, the goal is not to get more stuff. This be something you really love. And get together and have a clothing swap. So you just bring, gently worn or new items that you have, we do that sometimes, right? Buy stuff and never wear it. And you're going to bring it into, and you can pick somebody's house, and then you guys, at a specific time, you all do the swap. Whatever is left over, do not take it back. Go and donate it. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to have an event here in Phoenix, and I will let you know of the dates and times. And I hope that this was enlightening for you and that it gives you a little bit more progress towards your 100 things, Harvest 100. So thank you again for being here, and namaste.